Welcome to The Explainer. So glad you're joining us today. We're jumping straight into how the maker era is quite literally dragging the abstract digital world, kicking and screaming into our messy physical reality. Today, we're going to unpack the incredible engineering showcased at the MozFest 2022 workshop and the amazing Maker Awards, all centered around a fascinating little device called the Cheerbot.
Now here's a question to kick things off. Can you actually touch Web3? For the longest time, the digital economy, the blockchain, NFTs, all of it has felt completely trapped behind our glowing screens, right? But does it have to be that way? Or can we actually reach out and physically interact with digital truth?
Okay, let's dive into this. Here is our maker's journey for today. First, the digital-physical divide. Next, baking in the blockchain. Then, web monetization access control. Translating code to reality. And finally, true creator sovereignty. Let's get to it.
Starting off with Section 1, the digital-physical divide.
You know, historically, there's been this massive wall between our deeply tactile, unpredictable real world and the completely rigid digital ecosystem of the web and the blockchain. And that brings us to a really crucial concept, phygital realization. I know, it's a bit of a clunky word, but it essentially means giving physical form to digital ownership. It's the architectural bridge connecting a digital asset, like an NFT sitting securely in your wallet, to real-world physical automation. In our case today, this bridge takes the form of IRL 3D printed designer toys like the Cheerbot. We are finally escaping the screen.
Which leads us to Section 2, baking in the blockchain.
So how do we actually build this physical bridge? Let's look at this multi-step build process from the amazing Maker Awards back in 2022. The team took a 3D printer and started printing the Cheerbot's plastic shell vertically. But here is the absolute genius part. They programmed the printer to intentionally pause at a very specific layer height. During that exact pause, a human steps in, physically inserts a programmable NFC chip along with a tiny spacer right into the plastic cavity, and then hits resume. The printer then literally extrudes hot plastic directly over the chip. It's permanently sealed inside the walls of the bot, literally baked in forever. No going back.
And here is the brilliant payoff. Because that chip is permanently embedded inside the plastic, it serves as an unalterable physical anchor. A simple tap from any NFC-enabled smartphone instantly links that specific piece of plastic sitting on your desk directly to a digital NFT contract on the blockchain. It verifies on-chain ownership right there in the real world. You are literally holding the digital asset in the palm of your hand.
Moving on to Section 3, web monetization access control.
But listen, an NFC chip is just a static link, right? How do we make the bot actually do something dynamic? Well, at a MozFest 2022 workshop, the creator demonstrated how to use web monetization, specifically utilizing Coil and the Interledger protocol as a sort of digital bouncer. This comparison brilliantly illustrates it. Look at the left side. If you try to access the Cheerbot's controls without an active web monetization stream, you get absolutely zero access. You cannot send commands, period. But on the right side, the moment your active payment pointer streams even microcents of fiat money, boom, the server grants you access, opening a direct socket connection, allowing you to remote control the Raspberry Pi inside the bot. It's just a beautifully elegant, strict binary gatekeeper. In fact, during that very workshop, an attendee had this incredible light bulb moment that absolutely nailed it. They said, "You're using web monetization here as an access control, almost exactly." And that is exactly right. Think about it. This entirely bypasses heavy passwords, massive subscription databases, and centralized logins. A simple, continuous stream of micropayments strictly dictates who gets the privilege to control the physical hardware.
All right, Section 4, translating code to reality.
Now this is where those digital software commands successfully cross over that digital-physical divide. Tucked away inside that cheerfully 3D printed shell sits a Raspberry Pi. It acts as a localized microhost. What's absolutely fascinating here is that it patiently waits on your desk, acting as a sovereign physical switchboard. It doesn't need to ask Amazon, Google, or some massive centralized cloud server for permission to act. It directly reads the verified digital truth, like that web monetization socket command we just talked about, and prepares to execute it natively.
So how does this pure math turn into real action? Well, the Raspberry Pi has these tiny metal prongs called GPIO pins. Think of them as the hardware's nervous system. When that digital tip clears, pure mathematics is seamlessly translated into literal electricity. Those pins send a shock to the system, causing a physical reaction right there in your room. We're talking about rapidly spinning a tiny motor, turning on an LED screen, dispensing a physical item, or even speaking a custom message out loud to an audience. The digital command violently snaps into physical reality.
Which brings us to our final section, Section 5, True Creator Sovereignty. So how does this all tie into a unified vision for the future? The absolutely crucial point is that by manually building the hardware yourself, literally printing the shell and baking in the chip, and by controlling the access layer with direct web monetization, creators completely eliminate the need for massive, centralized digital landlords. You aren't quietly renting server space or begging an opaque algorithm for access to your own audience. You secure the physical substrate, ensuring your creative intent and your digital rules are untampered by large tech monopolies. It is a completely sovereign system sitting right there on your desk.
We've covered an incredible journey today, moving from the philosophical digital divide straight down into the electrical pins of a localized microhost. And now that the tools exist to seamlessly bridge the digital and physical worlds without all the corporate bloat, I want to leave you with this final, provocative thought. Now that you hold the sovereign power to orchestrate reality locally, what will you program your reality to do? Thank you so much for joining me today. Keep building, keep questioning, and I'll catch you in the next explainer.